potential storms. So far, hitting 98 out at MSP, and the humidity is there as well. Also a reason we have the extreme heat warning in place. Now this goes until 9 p.m. and that is also when we anticipate our next weather alert to expire. It's still going to be hot, just not excruciatingly hot like what we're dealing with now. Feels like temps up to 110. You can see all those locations in the hot pink underneath that extreme heat warning. Right now 98 is that current temp here at MSP. Highs in the 90s, even looking further off to the west. Dew points are tough, even some 80s on there. That's top of the charts. You put the two together and it feels like 117 in Willmar. It feels like 101 in Alexandria. It feels like 100 here in the Twin Cities. We keep with the heat as we go into this evening, and then we'll see temps start to drop, if at least feels like temps. But here's the deal. Tomorrow it'll still be hot, just not quite as hot and humid. We have a heat advisory in place coming up here tomorrow for the metro region. Feels like temps will be in the upper 90s. Air temp mid 90s, feels like upper 90s. The humidity will continue to drop.
It's the hottest day of the year
today. It is 98.
I don't know if I want that record.
I don't either. I'm okay with it. Good news is we trend down after today. So we got to get past the next few hours, and this next weather alert will expire coming up here at 9 p.m. So do want to keep that in mind. What will continue? Wisconsin, that severe threat is a little bit higher there. Now tomorrow will still be hot, just not as hot and humid as today. Heat advisory in place for tomorrow. Feels like temps in the upper 90s as opposed to the triple digits. Still have to take those heat safety precautions. Still might want to change up your outdoor plans, especially elderly children involved, for your Monday, but it won't be as bad as today. Temps actually trend down a little bit throughout the week. And then after the storm chance over the next 24 hours, our next storm chance comes in as we go into Thursday. Here's what's going on now. Things are quiet for most of us other than some thunderstorms up across the far northeastern part of the state of Minnesota. Next future radar does continue to pull the storm chances through northeastern Minnesota and portions of northwestern Wisconsin as we head into this evening. Now, forecast models haven't been doing great with this one. So we're going to keep with the window of potential thunderstorms coming up here basically from now this evening going through the overnight hours into the early morning hours tomorrow. And we're more so set on this, where we have the storms firing up, moving southeast through Wisconsin. So if you're headed east into Wisconsin, you have a much better chance of seeing storms. And those storms that do fire up have that potential for severe. 3 out of 5 enhanced risk here in the red. Hail damaging winds, main threat, tornado threat a little bit higher further off to the east. If those storms develop further to the west, then that's where Minnesota comes into play, and that's why we have that slight risk, a 2 out of 5 here for that potential for severe storms. Again, it's kind of an all or nothing situation over the next 24 hours. Temps tonight still warm, 76. Tomorrow still hot, just not quite as hot as today. High topping out at 95. Notice our dew points. They start to trend down tomorrow. Still very humid, still muggy going into Tuesday, but better than today. You put the two together. Anticipate feels like temps tomorrow in the sweltering category. So feels like temps tomorrow will be in the upper 90s. Dew points again slowly drop at least a little bit. So your heat index
tricky with those storms tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Again, further off to the east, we'll keep a closer eye on it, but of course just keep it here and we'll let you know if anything fires up further to the west here.
Yeah, we'll check in. Thank you so much, Lee.
99. That was our high temp today. Hottest day of the year so far. Record daily high was 100, so back in 1894, so we did not hit that, but obviously above that average of 83. It was a warm start to the day, too, 10 above average with our morning low of 75. Temps starting to slowly drop off, but not by much, at least for this time of night. 88 now registering here in the Twin Cities, down to 81 in St. Cloud, also Alexandria, a lot of 80s on the map, but it's those dew points that are still very sticky in the 70s. That's that Florida type humidity. You put the two together, your feels like temp coming in at 98 here in the metro. Lots of feels like temps in the 90s still on the map. So when it comes to the extreme heat warning, that has expired, but we have a heat advisory in place for tomorrow for the metro off to the south. Looking at high temps tomorrow into the mid 90s, feels like temps tomorrow in the upper 90s. So still hot tomorrow, just not the extreme heat like we saw today. Temperatures will continue to trend down, humidity also trending down. We have a couple of thunderstorms again tomorrow. Not as hot. So it's trying to help us out. Heat advisory. Today we had the extreme heat warning. We had heat indices in the triple digits. We had a high temp of 99. Tomorrow high temps in the mid 90s and feels like temps in the upper 90s. So that takes us down to the heat advisory category. Still want to take those heat safety precautions. If you have kids, elderly, may rethink doing outdoor activities or the timing of some of those. But again, not as bad as today. And actually over the next couple of days, humidity will continue to drop a little bit more, getting a little bit more comfortable. Almost felt like we didn't have anywhere to go but down. But yes, that and the temps will also start to trend down as well. Our next best storm chance, I would say especially for us here in the metro, comes in as we go into the end of the work week, Thursday, Friday. Now, what we've been watching is that potential for storms still stays pretty much to the east. Right now, we have thunderstorms across northeastern Minnesota. Nothing severe in play here. When it comes to our next future radar, we keep with the thunderstorms across northeastern Minnesota, riding down into portions of Wisconsin. And that's about it. And a lot of our forecast models and a lot of what the forecast kind of comes together and shows the picture, paints it out into Wisconsin. So overnight tonight, that is still a possibility, but I think those severe storm chances for really the rest of the metro area and good portion of the state of Minnesota have been shut off. Temps tonight stay warm though, 76 here in the Twin Cities for your overnight low. Tomorrow, back to 95 for your high. Dew points, like I said, they slowly trend down. We've been in the 70s, swampy. Tomorrow we see them get back to very humid and then even just down so muggy as we go into Tuesday. So slight improvement. Still want to prepare for a heat index tomorrow. In the sweltering category, your heat indices in the upper 90s coming up here for the day tomorrow. Here's your next 7-day forecast. So high temps mid 90s. Tuesday, Wednesday, high temps low 90s. Still kind of warm though with those lows in the 70s here.
Meadows tracking the temperatures. It's summer sizzle.
It is definitely hottest day of the year so far today. So in the Twin Cities 70s as we look further up to the north, ranging from the 70s to around 80 in western Wisconsin, and then still some 80s from Alexandria further off to the south. Here's the deal with these thunderstorm chances. So we're talking about that potential for those thunderstorms that could fire up. If they did so off to the west, then we'd be watching for a storm chance or even a severe storm chance for portions of Minnesota. It looks like we're going to keep that thunderstorm and severe storm chance isolated to northeastern Minnesota and also portions of Wisconsin. Maybe clipping portions of western Wisconsin, probably not getting close to the metro area at all. So right now, we still have some of those thunderstorms really in across the Arrowhead region. And we keep with any of those thunderstorms across the Arrowhead, Duluth, into portions of Wisconsin, maybe trying to get close to western Wisconsin, but for the most part, they stay off into the Wisconsin region. So if you're out in Wisconsin, headed further off to the east for some reason tonight, that's where we still have the 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. Main thing we're watching, I would say this area, the potential for some straight line wind damage overnight, something to watch for. But it looks like we just did not have that severe weather set up in place here in Minnesota, which we'll take, right? We want the rain, but not the severe weather. Temps tonight still warm, 76 your low. Tomorrow, high temp back up to 95 with your dew point trending down slowly as we head on into tomorrow, getting back to muggy once we continue to head on into Tuesday. Your next 7-day forecast takes those high temps down to the low 90s. Again, humidity lets up a little bit, especially as you start into Tuesday, you start to notice it. Then as we start to head into Thursday and Friday, we bring in our next storm chance Thursday night, probably more so Friday with your storm chance. High temps getting back to the 80s, so a little bit better. Definitely not as hot as this weekend.